Hi, welcome to The Resolution. My name is Stuart. I'm here today with Jay Freeborne, enrolled agent here at Washington Tax Services.
Hi, Stuart.
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Good.
And we are here today talking about entities and for the self-employed or entrepreneurs who are looking to start a business or to switch over their business for whatever reasons, if they're growing their business or need to change it or looking for a better structure for it. So we'll be looking at S-Corps, C Corps, LLCs, if you're married, if you're single, any
Partnerships.
any variety of entities that are out there and the pros and cons of each of them. And Jay's a pretty good expert, so we've got him on to kind of riff on that topic and see how we go.
Yeah, that's good. Well, all businesses by nature start as a default as a sole proprietor. So if you start a lemonade stand, you know, you are a sole proprietor. All of your profits are taxed for Social Security and Medicare withholdings. You fund your own Social Security and Medicare at a 15.35% tax rate. In addition to paying federal taxes, you also get a 50% of that. You get a tax cut for when calculating your federal taxes. So everybody's sole proprietor, nothing fancy there, right?
Right.
And, things get more interesting and beneficial when, depending on the direction your business is going to take. And most businesses will say fall into two buckets: businesses that make money, right out of the gates, right, and are just money machines. And then we'll call that a money machine business versus a pie in the sky dream startup business that doesn't make any money for a long time,
Uh-huh.
whose ultimate intent is to be sold to a high bidder.
Hmm.
So those are the two kind of businesses that we see. And the majority are the former money makers. Startups require a lot of capital and a lot of patience until you hit the big time, right? And many
Sure.
of them fail. But the moneymaker business is, we here at WATAX recommend that moneymaker businesses become S corporations for the benefit of paying less Social Security and Medicare taxes that a sole proprietor does. And so that is why the S Corp is the most powerful tax vehicle in America. And why everybody who doctors, truck drivers,
Possible.
OnlyFans, we keep going, right? Become S Corps to get that Social Security and Medicare tax deduction. And so when we do it at WATAX and we do advise and create S Corps for people, is we create your LLC in the state that you want to set it up in. And then we make the S Corp election for the LLC. So our preferred structure is an LLC that elects to be an S Corp. And so you can also create a corporation, which requires the assistance of an attorney. And then you make the S Corp election from that corporation. So that's the S Corp, right?
Hmm.
Entity is a C Corp. And the C Corp offers the following biggest benefits to the startup community, right? One is the qualified small business stock, which means if you own your company for 5 years and sell it and your capital gain is 10 million or less, you pay zero tax.
Wow. Hmm.
How about that?
It's pretty cool.
So that's the positive side of a C Corp. The negative side of a C Corp is if your business dissolves, doesn't make it, you get a $50,000 loss without limitations, assuming you lost that much, on
Mm-hmm.
Section 1244 that you could put on your tax return.
Hmm.
I should also add that S Corps also can get that 1244, Section 1244 loss, which is most people are limited to their loss of like $3,000 per year, right?
Right.
Section 1244 means you get to lose the full $50,000 on your tax return, which can be beneficial. So those are the and so I want to make a comment about Section 1244 and the qualified small business stock, and that is they have to be corporations that elect to be an S Corp or a corporation that is created by an attorney.
Mhm.
An LLC that elects to be an S Corp will not get the Section 1244 deduction. An LLC that elects to be a C Corp will not get the 1244 deduction or the qualified small business stock deduction on your $10 million sale. So important to know.
Yeah, it's a good differentiation between the two. Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, for most of you, being an S corp is definitely the way to go. And from a cost benefit analysis, WATAX, for example, we're going to charge you $1,750 to create your LLC. It's 2025, by the way. We might change your prices. $150. We'll create your LLC. We'll make the S corp election. We'll pay all your state licensing fees for $1,750 and be here for you, and ultimately be your tax preparer. Now, but yeah, back to the cost benefit analysis. Yeah, if you're going to make a $1,750 investment in accountants to set this up, you want to be making a profit, I'll say, of
Mhm.
75,000 or more a year. If you're small ball, it's good for you. If you're making 20,000 a year, keep doing what you're doing. But you shouldn't be an S corp. It's not worth the return on investment isn't good enough.
I see. Yeah. So what about timing goes when people, I mean, is that where really the bottom line comes in, is where, you start to push, your business starts to grow. That's when you really start to consider these changes there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should add some other facts. For some people, they've already created an LLC when we have this conversation with them. You have 3 years and 75 days to make an S corp election from the day your LLC is created.
I see. Sure.
And in the 2.5 years, and you'll have to make a request on the document form 2553 that you apologize for being late, because you actually have 8 weeks to do it. And after between weeks 9 and 3 years, 75 days, it's a late S corp election
I
request.
see. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but back to, I mean, if you're going big time, you definitely want to create a corporation, not an LLC elects to be a C Corp, right? For the benefits that we have expounded here today. But for most of you, the LLC is a great vehicle, giving you the liability protection, and it gives you all the benefits of being an S Corp or a C Corp. Obviously, an LLC that elects to be a C Corp, there isn't going to be, that's not very sexy. You're not getting the section 1244 or the qualified small business stock. So there aren't many people that are going to do that. Some very narrow examples.
Mhm.
But I guess another thing about LLCs and partnerships, we're not here to endorse partnerships because they're annoying and there isn't that great of a tax benefit. But partnerships are really beneficial if the owners really have special provisions that they want to give the owners. They carve out really weird, strange provisions, like where people get guaranteed payments and yada yada. This podcast is not an endorsement of partnerships, but they exist. It is a choice you can make. And if you have more than one member in your LLC, you have to file a partnership return unless you make the S corp election. And I should finally add, the last thing I want to get out on that is husband and wife, if you're married, you file a partnership return if you both own the LLC. But if you live in the community property states, Washington, California, um, Nevada, Louisiana, Wisconsin, the married couple can choose to have them not file a partnership return. They can just file a Schedule C sole proprietor return for their LLC, which also I should add, if you are a single member LLC, you're a sole proprietor, unless you choose to be an S Corp.
This is kind of niche, but and maybe you want to go down this pursuit. That with a partnership, you've become a partnership. How is there a way for you to, if you lose one of your partners, or what is the avenue to go down for changing a partnership down into or I mean, down isn't the right
Sole
word,
proprietor.
into an S corp, or a sole proprietorship.
Well, good question. I like the question. A partner, if you lose a partners, you're not a partnership anymore. You will dissolve the partnership and you'll become a sole proprietor. And if you're an LLC that had multiple members and now you're a single member LLC, you will do the same thing. But I guess the 3-year, 75-day clock when you start an LLC, that's how long you have to be an S Corp. They won't give it to you afterwards. I will give you an interesting example from this guy that hired us a couple months ago. He had a late S Corp election relief, like really late, like 3 years, 2 months from the date of inception, right?
22 hours.
Yeah. And he had that S Corp election been approved, he would have been approving an S Corp election to file his 22, 23, and 24 returns as an S Corp. This would have been highly beneficial to him. He had some very profitable years that he would be paying less tax on. His parents were sick and passed. And so we made a late S Corp election relief, having sympathy to him taking care of his dying parents. It was a really valid story. The IRS counteroffered and says, we'll let you be an S Corp in 24. They wouldn't give it to him for 22 and 23.
Huh.
So just letting you know, when you make an S Corp election relief that a request that is late, they sometimes won't give you the full amount, and they try to be reasonable. But
Yeah.
he was happy to be an S Corp, but he would have been a lot happier had he had it the full 3 years.
Sure. Sooner the better, then, I guess, is the word.
Yeah, well, you got 8 weeks to do it upon doing so. If you are an entrepreneur that is profitable and has a good niche and, clientele coming in, before you do anything, give us a call at 888-282-4697. Ask for Stuart or Jay, and there are others on staff that help too. And let us game it out for you and see what's best.
Sure. No, I think that's all great advice. Are there any other thoughts you want to go over today with this
I
topic?
have some other things to throw in. If
Yeah.
you become an S Corp, there is an implied obligation that you should go on payroll.
Right.
So,
Making your
Well-
own payments more
well,
regular. Yeah.
well, the S Corp election is a benefit, and they don't want people to take advantage of it. They want people still to contribute to their own Social Security and Medicare system up to a point. This brings up an entirely new topic called reasonable compensation. You give yourself compensation that the marketplace would have paid you had you had a job at your company. It's very, very subjective, but you have to pay yourself something. So then, we understand in the early years of a company, it's kind of hard to go on payroll, and there's some forgiveness and some leeway there. But once you're cooking, you should go on payroll. So if you're making $200,000 profit, you might consider paying yourself about 50% in wages or thereabout.
Hmm. That's something that obviously Washington tax could, in thinking about your entity's guide on how you set that up or the amount to be paid and et cetera.
If you become a client of ours, we're available for any questions at any time throughout the year. We also prepare your S Corp returns for you, or if you're an S Corp or C Corp, and are available to you. That we charge an annual fee for us to be your preparer, and we're accessible. Or if we create the S Corp and the LLC, or the C Corp and the LLC, we're also available to you. We answer our emails. Our website is also WATAX.com if you want to shoot us an email explaining what your situation is.
Yeah, and I mean, the other point of that, I suppose, is also, I think we've done podcasts on our bookkeeping as well. We have bookkeeping staff as well. So for small businesses, that's also a great tool that some of our clients utilize in conjunction with this entity setup. And yeah, bookkeeping is always useful for a small business starting out or somebody wanting to grow.
We love entrepreneurs. And to recap, if you're making money, you got to be an S Corp, really. And if you have a really cool idea that you want Wall Street or a very large company to buy, you should be a C Corp. And you have the time to wait 5 years till the qualified small business stock kicks in, then get to use the QSBS $10 million capital gain exemption. We've done, and we do QSBS returns for clients, income tax returns, and have done, let's be candid, I could think of like 10 that we've done. I mean, you don't run into people that have sold their company for $10 million every day, but
Right.
we definitely have filed the returns for those people.
Cool. Well, I think we've made some good distinctions between the options that are out there today. Yeah, like Jay said, if you've got any of these concerns, our phone number 888-282-4697, and watax.com is our website. So you can always go to our Connect with Us page there and shoot us an email as well. We'll get back in
36
touch with you.
years of continuous operation, Seattle, Washington, serving clients around the world.
All right. Thanks, Jay. Good to talk.
Thanks, Stuart.